Well, we're very delighted to welcome the one and only Calliope Smith to our studio, and we're going to talk about her recent recording of Sarasate's Zigeunerweisen with the Butler Philharmonic. Calliope, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
And Calliope, you're a violinist, and where are you talking from today?
I'm talking from the San Francisco Bay Area.
You're in San Francisco. Wonderful. And may I ask what grade you're in or how old you are? You know, never supposed to ask a woman the age, but I'm just curious.
Right now, I'm 14 years old, and I am a rising 10th grader.
You're a rising 10th grader. You're about to go into the 10th grade? You're about to
I just finished 9th grade, so I'm going to go into 10th.
See, yeah, you're getting up there. And now, you performed the Zigeunerweisen of Sarasate with at Carnegie Hall, but you also recorded it with the Butler Philharmonic. Now, in Ohio, was this the first time you've made a recording?
This was the first time I have recorded professionally with an orchestra. I've done a bunch of recordings like solo or with piano, but it's kind of a different experience when you're recording with a full orchestra because, you know, it is a little bit scary when you're going into it. You've religiously studied the score and all the entrances, and then you just get up there and you kind of just have a conversation with all of the different instruments, and it's honestly really fun. It was a great experience.
Yeah, so it sounds like you just weren't that nervous and just went in and did it.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the recording process like? Did you rehearse with the orchestra first before you started recording?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure the day before we did the recording, we actually performed Zigeunerweisen together. And before the performance, we did a rehearsal or two on the piece. Not too much rehearsal, but the recording, I would say, didn't really need that much rehearsal. It was actually all pretty good. And we were together and all the entrances, I had fun cueing them. I feel like it was really fun. We didn't really need much rehearsal on all of the different kind of tiny detail things.
Being together is always a good thing when you're playing with an orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good to hear. Was there much stopping and starting in the recording session?
There wasn't actually so much stopping and starting. I think we played through the piece around like 2 times, and then there was maybe a passage or 2 that we re-recorded, but it wasn't too much, no.
Right, and they probably did some intercutting between those 2.
Uh-huh.
You never know, yeah. And it's a wonderful conductor they have there, and it's a fantastic orchestra. I first heard it last year. I hosted a concert remotely, but I still listened. I had never heard of the Butler Philharmonic, and they played the Eroica Symphony, and I nearly fell off my chair.
Yeah, definitely.
I was expecting to introduce it and then go in the other room and say, oh, they'll be done in a half hour. I was just captivated by their performance. So it's a wonderful orchestra. And for you, for your first recording, that's a wonderful experience.
It was a great experience, definitely. And I love the sound, too. It's so fun.
Yeah. Now, you seem to make a connection. You have made a connection between a performance and you're very interested in education and you're interested in how music impacts learning and development. And you've made a bit of a study of this. That's not too bad for a 10th grader. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I am currently conducting a study on how music education impacts the kind of social emotional development of 3 to 5-year-olds. I finished like the first phase of the study where I got around 30 3 to 5-year-olds and I tested them on different aspects of their kind of theory of mind, like, you know, creativity or imagination, and like how they interact with other people, maybe if they can recognize when they have a wrong belief. Because a lot of studies currently that are focused on how music education impacts the mind of young children are more focused on the kind of conventional measures of success, like IQ or test scores or success academically. But then I realized there's kind of a gap when it comes to the more social parts of how music affects the mind. And I'm just really trying to kind of get a larger sample size and then maybe be able to sub-stratify more and get accurate results on that.
So are you testing young people in group, say a group that has had a lot of experience with music and a group that hasn't? Are you doing a test of the 2 groups?
Mm-hmm. Currently, I have 4 kind of music education levels that I've included in my test. They're a bit subjective, but I think with a larger sample size, I'm going to be able to substratify more by the kind of types of music education that the children are getting, and maybe which ones are most effective or least effective for social emotional learning.
Have you reached any not conclusions, because you're in the middle of the research? Are there any trends developing? Are you discovering anything? Are you surprised by anything?
Yeah, so currently there is actually a moderate positive correlation that I found statistically significant between music education levels and the kinds of parts of theory of mind I was testing, especially in terms of imagination and creativity.
So are you finding a difference then between kids? These are what grade, what age did you say? 5?
3 to 5.
3 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of them are exposed to music and some aren't, and you're finding a difference in their creative development.
Yeah, so when the kids are exposed to more music education, or maybe they're listening to a lot of music at home, we have seen that it's correlated with kind of a greater imagination and also greater ability to recognize when other people have different beliefs in them.
How are you able to gauge a 3-year-old's imagination?
So I did run some tests. I gave them like different types of Play-Doh, and I played some games with them in order to kind of, just observe how they're imagining things, what type of scenarios they imagine, whether they enjoy imagining things that are definitely not real, or if they can at all. So that was an interesting thing to do.
Does it matter what type of music they're listening to? Can it be any music, or just the fact that they're listening to music?
I actually have not been able to substratify by that yet, because I think 30 is a pretty small sample size. But once I get more volunteers and I'm able to test more people, I hope to be able to find more conclusions about maybe if there's a type of music they're listening to, and maybe a type of music they're learning, whether that's singing or string instruments or piano, if any one of those has a much greater or lesser effect.
Now, do you test these young people one-on-one?
Mm-hmm, I do, yeah.
And how do you get volunteers? I mean, what parent is going to say, sure, have fun with my little 3-year-old? You're in the 10th grade, so you know what you're doing. How do you get the volunteers?
So I have kind of done a little bit of like partnership with the SFCM, the San Francisco Conservatory of Music. I had emails sent out to a bunch of the parents in the young childhood program. I've also hung up a lot of posters, emails, as many people as I could find. And then there's actually a surprising number of people who are willing to have their children interviewed, I was really grateful for that. Yeah.
And are you doing this under whose supervision are you doing this? The San Francisco Conservatory, or just
under my own supervision? Yeah.
You just cook this up?
Yeah.
Now, how did you happen to get this interest? Where did this come from?
I think the interest I had in psychology started kind of in my 9th grade psychology, biology, statistics course, which was kind of about testing different hypotheses about the world. And when we were in the psychology unit of that, I just felt incredibly captivated and motivated to study more outside of school about it. And I then realized, because I do love teaching younger kids and interacting with younger kids and teaching music in particular, that there was kind of a gap in the research when it came to social emotional learning.
Now, I have a 26-month-old grandson.
Mm-hmm.
What should we be doing to help further his creative and imaginative abilities with respect to music? Because he listens a lot to his mother likes Taylor Swift a lot, and I like Mozart a lot. So does it make any difference?
Yeah, I feel like I am not a professional, but I would say that probably enrolling him in maybe group music classes, because that's shown to have a greater impact on music education, and also just exposing him to as much music as possible and just having him play.
Well, Calliope, this is very interesting. I don't know of any 10th graders who are doing this kind of in-depth research. Do you plan to write a paper when you're done?
I do plan to write a paper when I'm done, yes.
and you'll submit it to some place, or just to have it and maybe use it to get into college, or what do you think?
I'm hoping maybe to get it published after I'm finished with all of the research. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to see a copy of it when you're done. I hope you'll
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
When will it be done?
I'm hoping to get it done by the end of 2027, or published by the end of 2027.
Yeah,
after I have a significant amount of samples.
Yeah, that's a good time frame. Well, best of luck with that, and I'm happy that you made that recording at the Butler Philharmonic in Ohio. I'm very eager to hear about this research, and I'm a little bit taken aback by the fact that you're doing it in the first place, given that you're just out of grammar school, really. But best of luck with that, and
Thank you so much.
Good luck with everything you do. And I expect when you go to college, it'll be a toss-up between, Harvard or Stanford or something like that, because you've got the goods.
Thank you.
Take care, Calliope.
You too.
Awesome interview, guys. Great wrap up there.
Thank you, Calliope. I'm
okay.
Eager to see the results of that.
I'm going to work on bringing the next person in, but I'll be back. Okay.
But you've already made a few discoveries that kids who are exposed. So are you interviewing kids who aren't exposed to music and kids who are?
Yes, I'm trying to get like a good balance, like 50-50 of both, so that it's not swayed in one direction.
And so is a parent willing to admit, well, yeah, we don't listen to any music in our house.
Yes, there are some parents who admit that. I think for the most part, I have to ask, like, how much music do you listen to? Is it like on a daily basis? Is it you're listening to music 24/7? Or like what type of music? I have all these like written down in a journal. So
have you found parents that can tell you exactly what type? We listen to just blues, or we listen to Beethoven. Did you get that?
Usually it's people saying, oh, we listen to a lot of Beethoven, we listen to a lot of Mozart, we listen to a lot of symphonies. I haven't found many parents who are saying they listen to a lot of pop music, but I think that also might have to do with where I am living, close to Stanford, with parents who are very interested in classical music for their children. So hopefully I'm able to expand the study to some other places as well across America and maybe the world.
I wonder if you'll find out if it makes any difference as I ask you what type of music. Some kid listens to country music, some kid listens to Beethoven, but maybe there's no difference.
Yeah, I will be actually really interested to find out whether there is a difference or what the difference is between that once I get a larger sample.
People talk about the Mozart effect, but I think that's just stupid.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's not like Mozart has like some magic ability, but then again, I mean, I do want to see how classical music versus, rock music might affect somebody mentally.
Yeah, I think rock music can make a kid crazy, but that's just a personal
Yeah.
It's too loud and it's too rhythmically boring. But I'm biased.
Question, like what types of qualities in music?
I also don't get Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah, I like Taylor Swift.
Well, I just don't get what's so special about it.
I think it's mostly like a lot of people like things when they're general. To get a whole population to treasure something, it has to be something that everybody can appreciate. So it's not going to be too far in any direction.
But is her popularity based more on the lyrics, or is it based on the harmonies and rhythm? It isn't, because I really gave it my daughter really, is a big deal. She's seen her twice, saw her in London. And I'm going to listen to this music and find out what the deal is. And I couldn't understand the words anyway, even though my daughter has it all memorized. But I didn't hear anything that great in the music.
I think it's probably based on relatability. I mean, I would have to do another study on what makes Taylor Swift so appealing, but it is an interesting question.
She does seem to be an interesting person.
Mm-hmm.
She seems to be very generous, and I like her politics. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, Calliope, good luck with your study.
Thank you so much.
you.